what I'd like to share with you is the experience of quite many ordinary people trying to achieve something extraordinary, like change in a country. In 2011, in Spain, we were in the middle of a deep economic crisis, in the deep of no less deep institutional and political crisis, and also in the middle of a huge moral crisis. And then in May, on the 15th of May 2011, something happened. It's usually known as the Indignados movement, 15M movement. Many people took the squares in many cities in order to discuss politics, in order to challenge the economic model, and in order to reinvent democracy. Whatever happened in Spain in 2011 cannot be summarized in 2 or 3 minutes, but I'll point out a couple of aspects of it. Firstly, the duopoly of Labour and conservative equivalent parties in Spain, this duopoly was little by little perceived as not a duopoly anymore, but as a monopoly of two. A monopoly of two. The confidence in those parties was broken. And this doesn't mean that people didn't vote Conservative or Labour in the next general election, because the Conservative Party won it with an absolute majority. But it means that the confidence was broken. Secondly, corruption was not perceived as the rotten apple of the system anymore. It was perceived as the very system, as the system itself. Thirdly, what was perceived as an individual problem, something like unemployment, and many people were ashamed because they couldn't find a job. Things that were perceived as individual problems, like the risk of eviction. There are between 300 and 500 evictions in Spain every day. These things weren't perceived as individual problems anymore. They were, little by little, perceived as political problems, common problems, collective problems. And actually, this is where the name Podemos comes from. It doesn't come from Barack Obama's 2008 presidential campaign, yes we can. It comes from something that people would chant when an eviction was stopped by legal means or by putting bodies in front of the police. People would chant, "Si se puede," yes, it is possible. What we did is to put the "we" in the equation. From "it is possible" to "we can." Si se puede, podemos. And also, even though the Indignados movement didn't produce a realignment, it didn't produce a new balance of powers, it changed many things. It changed our common sense. It changed the way we frame politics. And something like this monopoly of two I was referring to was not perceived as natural anymore. It looked so natural in the past, but it didn't look natural anymore. It didn't look natural at all. Also, in the last 4 years, we've learned that there was not only one Indignados movement in the square. There were 2 different Indignados movements. One of them took place in the streets, took place in the squares. Activists discussing democracy, discussing the economic model, discussing social issues. But there was another Indignados movement. It was the movement of those at home watching TV, listening to the radio, going to work, taking care of their children. All those people felt sympathy for whatever was going on in the squares. They felt true sympathy for that. They weren't anti-capitalists. They weren't feminists. They weren't socialists. But they felt a lot of sympathy for whatever was going on in the squares. What Podemos has tried to achieve is bringing these 2 realities together. Bringing 2 different realities together. learned from this process? Many things, but I will point out some of them that I find particularly important. Firstly, activists are very important. Activism is a wonderful thing in order to do politics. It's crucial, but activists don't change countries. Don't change countries. It's the people. It's the people. Only the people can change the country. Politics is not only about the things you say. It's a lot about the things you do, what we might call the ethics of politics. We've learned that people are not fed up with politics as a whole. People are fed up with old politics, traditional politics. What do we mean when we say that we want to do politics differently, do things differently? We mean a number of things. For instance, transparency. Everyone in Podemos or outside Podemos can check on our website how we spend our money. You can actually download receipts. If we go to a gas station, we scan the receipt and put it on the website in order to allow people to hold us accountable. Whatever we do is accountable, is transparent. Our staff is also transparent. It's all on the website. You can check who works for Podemos, what's the job description, everything. What else? Crowdfunding. A party for the people and by the people should be financed by the people. We don't ask for money monthly. We don't ask for money blindly. We tell people what we need, and we ask them for the money we need to get those things. And people are very happy about contributing with money, small amounts of money, if they know where the money goes, if they know what things are really needed in order to do politics. What else? Accountability and salary cuts. Politics should not be a privilege, and politicians should not have privileged jobs. We are willing and happy to accept salary cuts, and we think that politicians should not earn more than average worker. Openness. Everyone should be able to participate, even if he or she doesn't have the time to participate, even if he or she is not willing to engage in politics as other people are willing to do. Meetings should be live streamed. Everything should access to them if they want to. Whatever is going on, whatever is being discussed, it should be open to everyone, not only open to the members of the party. Because this makes people feel not part of a closed organization. It makes them feel part of an open process, part of a work in progress, part of something much bigger than an organization. We are even launching a Podemos app for Android smartphones in order to allow people to participate with their mobile phones. Social media. We use social media not only for loud-speaking purposes, we also use them for organizing purposes. Link sharing websites, discussion sites, forums, everything. Let's say, most organizations use mailing lists, but a mailing list, no matter how massive this list is, creates some sort of one-directional relationship with the people. You send the message, many people get it, but they can't reply. And we need something different. We needed a space, a social space. The media provided us we needed a space in which people could comment, could give us feedback, could participate, could send us pictures, could provide us with valuable information. Then again, building a process altogether, also through the social media. For instance, we can address, through these apps and social media, we can address people in order to ask them what issues should be addressed at the European Parliament, what should our representatives say, and things like that. We also ask them, is this what we're saying right? Do you identify with it, or do you think it's wrong? People don't get the point? Things like that make a difference. Framing things differently. Well, these people at home in 2011 felt a lot of anger and felt a lot of things that had to do with the establishment. This anger, these feelings, cannot be translated, or are not necessarily to be translated into very specific policies, like whatever policies we advocate for. Sometimes